And welcome back to Creativity with Don Allen III live. This morning, we're back in Los Angeles, and we're going to just do a quick little edit of my panel. I want to upload this onto YouTube. This is the panel that I gave at the 1 Billion Follower Summit, and I just want to jump right in and make a little video edit. And if you have any questions, I might answer them right now. But otherwise, I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit behind the scenes of just editing a talk and making that happen. So yeah, tune in if you're interested in learning about what I had to what I was going to share. The summit was really awesome and exciting, and yeah, if you want to learn about it, the 1 Billion Follower Summit is an unparalleled 3-day experience converging the world's top creators and industry experts for entertainment and professional growth. They had 15,000 people attend. They had 5,000 content creators and then 350 speakers. I was one of those speakers. And yeah, there was a focus on content, technology, and the economy. And it was really, really, really cool. So that was the dealio. And yeah, anywho, let's get right to editing. Good morning or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Let's get right to the edits. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Odom. I see you. And Alex DeBarre. Hey, good to see you. Round 2. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start editing. Thanks for being here, folks. I'm using the app CapCut to do my edits. Hopefully when TikTok gets banned in a couple of days here, hopefully TikTok doesn't get banned, because hopefully CapCut doesn't get banned in the US, because I really like CapCut. So let's see what we got. AI for Interiors writes, loved watching all your highlights from the summit. Oh, yay. So happy you were there to check them out. All right, let me see. So I'm going to make a little edit here.
Who's ready? Oh, that's amazing. Up next, we have...
All right, I'll start with the up next. So I'll go ahead and cut the video here. People in the... when they're watching content online, people don't have the most patience. So I'm going to kind of do a cut down of my talk that just goes to the very main elements that need to be said. And I'll cut it to just that. There's some nice little AI tools that we can use too, which I might throw into here in a moment. Mobius Spray writes, greetings from Germany. Greetings from Germany. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Up next, we have Don Allen, will show us how to use cutting-edge tech like OpenAI Sora and robotic gimbal.
I'll cut right there, and then we'll jump to the next part. So we'll cut right there, and then skip. Skip.
Big welcome to Don.
I'll start with there. Big welcome to Dawn. Let's go ahead and cut that right there. Let's take a listen.
Big welcome to Don.
We cut it too fast. We'll go right there. Get a little bit of that space.
Big welcome to Don.
Great. And then skip ahead. Maybe I'll do a crossfade right here. Hello. Welcome, Danny. Hello, Gino. Welcome from Madrid. Greetings. Welcome. We're just doing a quick little video edit of my talk from the conference, and then I'm going to upload this to YouTube. My goal is to have this done in like 20 minutes, and then, because I gotta run after that. So let's see what we can do.
Thank you. Hello. 1 second, let me set up my little robot.
I'll keep my little robot in there.
Hello.
We'll cut right to there, and then trim the shot there. There we go.
Hello. 1 second, let me set up my little robot. Okay, cool.
And then I'll make one little.
Is it working?
I have a robotic gimbal that I used during the talk, but my robotic gimbal lost its mind during the recording. Hey, I thought it was kind of funny, so I'm gonna leave it in. But halfway through, not even halfway, periodically throughout the talk, the robot gimbal starts spinning around like crazy, and I can't control it. And it's my only take, so I gotta work with it. Timu writes, do you find it difficult keeping your head straight while filming? Yeah, I do. I have chronic nerve pain. I had a brain surgery back in 2019. And ever since then, my head has been actually crooked. So, and I have a lot of pain in my neck. So my head is often not on straight, which is just the nature of dealing with, brain surgery stuff. But yeah, I haven't really been able to film straight since then with my head.
Is it working?
All right, so we'll skip ahead to there. I'll go right there. There's a little, I like that camera movement, so let's go ahead and start with that part. Let's take a look and these parts here.
Hello. 1 second, let me set up my little robot.
Yeah, I want to keep in that mention of the little robot just because the camera moves around so much. So I want the justification for why the camera's spinning around. It's said in the script
Okay,
that.
cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So my name's Don Allen Stevenson III. I go by Don Allen III. I'm going to show you a lot of visuals and clips, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what the future is going to look like in about 5 years when it comes to VFX, AI, CGI. So
Let's get rid of ums and so's.
I'm going to show you how I make kind of stuff like this. Here's a little overview of my life journey. I started off making a lot of. I started off.
We'll start with I started off. I'll skip the other parts. So let's just kind of trim right there. Great, and let's see that.
CGI. Started off making a lot of videos on YouTube and learning how to use Adobe After Effects. It's an animation software. I started posting on Instagram. I got noticed by DreamWorks Animation, where I was a teacher for 3 years. I taught all of our software to our artists. I started working with Meta. I did a really...
Aicha.tech writes, cool, looking forward to watching the video. Thanks. Yeah, I'll upload it to YouTube as soon as I have it done. Team writes, thank you for taking the time to explain. Oh, of course. Yeah. So, you know, it's important when you go to conferences where you haven't like coordinated with everybody beforehand. I always bring my own recording equipment because even though they had incredible cameras there, I don't think they edited a take of my presentation. And so if I didn't have this recording that I made myself, then I might not be able to document that I was there, which might defeat part of the purpose of the value of kind of being able to show up, you know, and speak places. It's kind of like in this world, you have to kind of show that you're doing stuff. So I'm really happy I filmed. Next time I won't turn on the robotic tracking mode because that is why the camera spun around and was starting to do all this spinning stuff without my control. So, you know, lesson learned.
Started off making a lot of videos on
Thank you,
YouTube,
Danny.
learning how to use Adobe After Effects. It's an animation software. I started posting on Instagram. I got noticed by DreamWorks Animation, where I was a teacher for 3 years. I taught all of our software to our artists. I started working with Meta. I did a really fun little presentation with Ted on AI videos. Did a masterclass with Masterclass. Released a book that I wrote with AI. And then just recently was on stage with Mark to release a new AI product for Meta. But I'm a solo creator. And I'm also going to slow down.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. So, my personal journey, I worked on these films at DreamWorks. I worked on How to Train Your Dragon.
I'll skip that part.
At DreamWorks.
We already mentioned DreamWorks. I don't need to mention it again.
Films at DreamWorks. I worked on How to Train Your Dragon.
I'll start with I worked on How to Train Your Dragon.
So I worked on How.
Yeah, because it's redundant to keep saying the DreamWorks stuff. I hadn't gotten much sleep the night before because I was practicing so many times. So I had a little bit of that like high energy of like, gotta get this all done, gotta get this all right. Team writes, you have to promote yourself. Look where it's gotten you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, team. I agree. You do have to promote yourself in this world, especially if you're like a solo content creator and that's like your main business. Yeah, you have to be your own media. You have to be your own press. So bring your own camera, your own recording equipment. I used a Hollyland Lark M2 mic attached to the gimbal. So that's how I'm getting really clean audio. So I'm not using the built-in phone camera's audio because I don't even know what the sound system's going to be like before I go to a place. So you have to record your own sound professionally and record your own visuals, your own video professionally.
Slow down. So I worked on How to Train Your Dragon and Boss Baby in an educational role. I would teach our software to all of our artists. So whether you're an animator...
I finished reading your book. Oh my goodness, Justin, thank you so much for reading my book and for finishing reading it. Yeah, let me know your feedback. What did anything in my book stand out? Did you dislike anything in the book that was not helpful? That would be helpful for me to hear because I'm actually between you and me, I'm actually working on my second book right now. So any feedback you have would be helpful.
How to Train Your Dragon and Boss Baby in an educational role. I would teach our software to all of our artists. So whether you're an animator, a lighter, a rigger, a modeler, any stage of the 3D film, I would be your instructor and I would work with the artist for the first 2 weeks when they come into the studio. But I realized...
All right, so let's skip to that. Now this is where I state my first problem. in the industry.
The studio. But I realized there's a limitation to some of the existing tools when it comes to CGI and VFX that's done for long form. It would take us years to make one film, but the content that people need today...
I have a long breath right there, so I'm just going to remove that clip of breath. Great.
But the content that people need today isn't years. They want to see stuff like every 30 minutes or every day. So that's when I kind of started using a lot of new AI and VFX CGI tools, which we're going to go over today, that kind of highlight...
I don't need to specify that we're going to go over today, because if you're watching it, it's clear that we're going to be going over that today, so we're going to remove that mention.
AI tools, which we're going to go over today. AI tools.
Yeah, we'll remove that part because it's already clear. We don't need to say it again.
That kind of highlight how you can do these today. A lot of this stuff is working right on web browsers, and you can run them right from your own devices, so it should be pretty sweet.
Let's get rid of should be pretty sweet.
Devices, so it should be...
That was just filler words. I'm taking out filler because nobody has time for that.
So it should be pretty sweet. So, yeah, for example, this clip was made with Sora, and I used After Effects for that one. Let's go on to the next slide here.
I might use that one because I might need to show the visual on screen, so I will keep that mention of that part here.
Yeah, for example, this clip was...
Yeah, I'll keep that in.
Devices. Yeah, for example, this clip was made with Sora.
TYB writes, keep the good work. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, for example, this clip was made with Sora, and I used After Effects for that one. Let's go on to the next slide here. These are the people that inspire me.
So I'm going to skip the word Again, it was a filler word, so we'll get rid of that. And let's see.
Next slide here. These are the people that inspire me, the ones that I try to aspire to be like. So feel free to take a picture. Those are the folks that I try to...
So what I'm going to do, I think, to hide some of the robotic camera movements is I'll put screen recordings of my actual slides on the screen for those parts, so that, when the camera was spinning around and doing all that movement, I'll have the ability to kind of fill that up with just the actual visuals. I think that'll be helpful. I might even do a thing where I fade out the video and then just have the full screen of the slides on there, because then it will be like, I think that would be very helpful.
I try to aspire to be like. So feel free to take a picture. Those are the folks that I try to communicate, but I try to do it through the lens of... Feel free to take a picture. Those are the folks that I try to communicate.
I'm going to remove that part because we don't need to take a picture, because they'll be able to just screenshot this on YouTube. We got a question from AI for Interiors. They write, which program are you recording your Instagram live with that does the split screens? I'm using OBS Studio. I'll write that down, OBS Studio. And if you log into Instagram from a web browser, they have an option if you're a creator in the US, maybe actually it's in other places too now, you can actually live stream directly from your desktop and connect to a third-party streaming software. In my case, I use OBS Studio, and that way you can hook up cameras, lights, extra microphones with higher quality, and stream directly live into Instagram, and it saves the live stream afterwards. And for me, I usually save them to my subscriber-only content so that they get the full video. I also can download the video locally on my computer, edit it, and make little cut downs and little educational snippets. So that's kind of how I make my long form content.
Aspire to be like. So feel free to take a picture. Those are the folks that I try to communicate, but I try to do... Those are the folks... Picture.
I'm going to remove that part. We don't need the mention of the communicate part because it's clear that that's communication. So let's get rid of that.
Those are the folks that I try to communicate, but I try to do it through the lens of creativity and technology.
I'll keep that part. Get rid of this clip.
Focus. Sure, but I try...
We got a question from Rob.gpt writes, yeah, I can also do that with Sweden and Europe. Okay, sweet. So excellent. So that feature to live stream directly to Instagram is not just in the US. According to Rob.gpt, it's also available in Sweden and Europe. So that's great. AI for Interiors writes, amazing, thank you, with prayer hand emojis and the flushed happy face emoji.
Sure, but I try to do it through the lens of creativity and technology with a deep, deep nerd focus. So that's the kind of space that I like to be in. All right, but now let's get into some of my actual current workflows.
I want to keep this part because I like that animation right here, even if it's if it's a little break. This makes sense because you want to give little breaks when you're going to switch categories in a presentation. So the first part was all intro, and now we're moving out of the intro into the core content. So I'll leave a little visual break in here. Even though we could speed up the cut, I'll keep a pause in here just because it helps transition in our brains.
All right, but now let's get into some of my actual current workflows, things that I'm doing every day to crank out lots of good visual effects content. Now, lately.
Okay, so we'll go to lately and we'll cut to there. Bam, bam, and then remove this clip and see how it flows.
Content. Lately, it's a lot of tools. I know people are seeing a lot of stuff here. It's a lot of tools.
Maybe I can take out the word.
Lately.
Maybe I'll take out word lately. Or no, I'll keep it and then we'll just we'll get rid of the space there. Lots of tools, get rid of that, see how that feels.
Content. Lately, it's a lot of tools. I know people are seeing a lot of stuff here.
I'm using CapCut to edit. CapCut on desktop is really nice. I'm hoping that when TikTok gets banned next week, I'm hoping TikTok doesn't ban their own editing app, CapCut, because it's so useful.
Lately, it's a lot of tools. I know people are seeing a lot of stuff here. Here's all of them.
Let's get rid of the It's filler.
Here's all of them in one horrible screen. Take a picture. It's very useful. Take a picture.
I'll get rid of take a picture because we're not in person now.
Take a picture. It's very useful. Very useful. I'm going to organize this in a sec.
Actually, I don't need to see it's very useful because it's clear that it's useful if I'm putting up as a visual.
I'm going to organize this in a second because this is complete chaos and not useful. It's just a big mess. So let me untangle it. My workflow is really these 4 steps. I'm usually starting off building in an Apple ecosystem. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking it. Apple ecosystem.
Cool. So Apple ecosystem, then we trim the clips there.
Sorry, I'm blocking it. I'm usually building in an Apple ecosystem.
We'll trim that again.
Building in Apple ecosystem.
Trim that earlier.
Off building. Sorry, I'm blocking it. I'm usually starting off building. Sorry, I'm blocking it.
Let's get rid of that clip where I'm blocking the screen.
I'm usually building in an Apple ecosystem because of the fast latency. I use voice to talk to my computers because I have a lot of chronic nerve pain. And so I can use like a device like this and just speak to my computer. I use Vision Pro to kind of use my hands without having pain. So I'm in there. Then I'm talking to
I'll get rid of so I'm in there because I think that was me filling up time and breath and thought. So we'll skip that part.
Pain. Then I'm talking to a large language model, an LLM. These are my favorites: Perplexity, Claude 3, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Meta AI. You see how this is a loop right here? I spend a lot of time interacting over and over again with my idea.
Feels good.
Brainstorm. When I'm happy with the idea, I then bring this in.
We got a question from Justin Reyes, 100, writes, my favorite part about the book emphasizing how important AI literacy is. That's why I'm making sure my 5-year-old daughter is familiar with using AI for search rather than Google. Wow. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that because, yeah, if your daughter has AI literacy, especially at 5, then just think of like if they understand how to sort out the AI outputs and understand what is real, what is not, how they can be useful in her knowledge sharing and her knowledge acquisition, she'll have an edge over folks who don't have AI literacy. So I'm so happy to hear that was one of the takeaways you got from reading my book. That's super helpful, and I'll make sure to focus on more AI literacy in the next book.
When I'm happy with the idea, I then bring this into my creative tools. Some of them are traditional VFX and animation tools like Cinema 4D with that big sphere, Adobe After Effects. But then what we're going to cover today are some new ones. How do we use Sora? How do we use Runway and Polycam and Midjourney? When I have my creative tools, I then usually send it to...
There's a little break in my space there. I'm going to trim that gap so that it jump cuts there.
Midjourney. When I have my creative tools, I then usually send it to the social channels. And I mostly do stuff on Instagram, but...
I'm going to remove the and.
Yeah,
we don't need that.
And
it's just filler. So let's get rid of the filler. Keep it all into the substance.
And I mostly do stuff on Instagram, but I use an AI tool called Repurpose. I forgot the name. Repurpose something, and it sends it to all the other platforms for me. I mostly do stuff on Instagram, but I use an AI tool called Repurpose.
Okay, we'll stick to I mostly, and then we'll get rid of this part.
Instagram, but I use an AI tool called Repurpose. I forgot the name. Repurpose something, and it sends it to all the other platforms. Forgot the name. Repurpose something, and it sent.
I might keep that part of me where I make the error where I don't know the name of it, because part of my branding is I learn on the fly, and so I'm open to like showing that when I don't know something. So I might keep that in, because that means like if you don't hear me say that I don't know something, then it might actually add more authority when I speak. It's kind of like it might work in reverse. Some people would remove the mention of them not knowing something, but for my personal branding, I find that when I share that I don't know something and I share it out in the public, I think it has led to more trust, because I'll be honest. I'll say when I don't know something, and that way when I say that when I'm not saying that I don't know something, then there might be an assumption from the received end that I might know a lot about that thing. So I'm gonna keep in the mention of me not knowing a part of this.
I forgot the name. Repurpose something, and it sends it to all the other platforms for me, because I mostly want to focus on Instagram. So that's how you can kind of grow up.
I'll get rid of this though. Let's trim that part there.
Instagram. So that's how you can kind of grow audiences in lots of different spots simultaneously. Now,
I don't think we need to mention that part.
Lots of different spots, kind of grow audiences in lots of different spots simultaneously. Spots.
Yeah, we'll leave it there and then cut that part.
Simultaneously. Now, this is something I made in.
All right, we'll skip to this part here. Trim, release. There we go.
Spots. This is something I made in 4 hours. This entire video. Every clip was generated with Sora. I used a tool called Midjourney to make the image references, and the music was generated with the app Suno with a text prompt. I wanted an anime intro for my comic book series for a character named Omnidon. And it's wild that this is possible. But for the sake of time, we'll skip it. I have it on Instagram if you want to check out later. So, no time for live demo, but just to reiterate, I'm usually going from...
I'm going to skip the part where I say no time for live demo and just go to the part where I reiterate the main point from the previous slide.
So, no time for live demo, but just to...
We'll start with but just to remember. So let's go trim, and then trim to that, and then delete this clip, and then see how it flows.
Check out later. Just to reiterate, I'm usually going on Instagram if you want to check out later. I have it on Instagram if you want to check out later.
My voice cracked there. Keeping it.
But just to reiterate, I'm usually going from an Apple ecosystem to a large language model.
Oh, another pro tip. I always try to, even before I was broadcasting my live talks and panels, what I would do is I used to just record myself presenting with a webcam on TV, a webcam on my computer or laptop, and I would just watch it back, and then on me watching it back, I would critique my own performance on screen. I would look at what was my movement like, what were my words that I was using, how did I emphasize certain words, and I'd basically critique my own performance of a topic. This is before I would share stuff publicly online, and that's how I got better at public speaking. I critique myself a lot, especially through video and audio. You want to see what you sound like, you want to see how you present, and you want to critique it if you want to grow and develop in that skill. So that's what I would do, and I still do myself every day. Like if I can, I always watch my own performances and own keynotes and try to critique how I could do better.
Later, but just to reiterate, I'm usually going from an Apple ecosystem to a large language model. I'm using my creative tools, and then I'm sharing socially. So people like me, 1-person studios, 3-person studios, are starting to get the ability in the next 5 years to develop the quality of work that would have taken hundreds of artists, many departments. That becomes something that a small group can do, which is exciting because this opens up a lot of realms. The main takeaway is AI is an amplifier. I did the motion capture work for Lil Nas's music video for these dancing robots. We did that in, I think, 2019 for the music. I'm
going to take out the but we'll keep the other part kind of in a little bit of a flow right there. So let's just keep the flow going.
We did that in, I think, 2019 for the music video Panini. And it took forever. I had to put lots of motion capture suits on. The data was dirty afterwards, so I had to clean up the data. Then I had to hand that to a bunch of VFX artists. It took a very long time for us to get this one shot that we kept reusing in the music video. But now, if I use AI as an amplifier, I can just describe dancing robots in about a few moments, and then maybe wait 30 seconds and I can get a video. It may not be the same quality, but in the next 5 years, that quality gap is gonna pass. You're gonna get the same stuff that you would have only been able to get the traditional way from text prompts and image prompts. And even...
I'll get rid of the
Yes. And even, yeah, just loose descriptions. And even, yeah, just loose descriptions. Image prompts. Yeah, just loose descriptions.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that other There's like 2 little filler words in there.
Prompts. Yeah, just loose descriptions. Let me check how we're doing on time. Oh, we have plenty of time. Let me slow way down. Sorry about that. Okay. Claude. This is one of the tools that Claude.
All right, we'll skip all that part. We have like 1, 2, looks like 3 or 4 seconds of kind of transitioning to the next slide, so we'll get rid of that.
Prompts. Claude. This is one of the tools from text prompts and image prompts. Claude. This. And even Claude. Prompts. And even, yeah, just loose descriptions.
Okay, we'll just trim it there and then see how that flows.
From text prompts and image prompts, yeah, just loose descriptions. Claude, this is one of the tools that I use to amplify what I'm doing. This is a chat, it's like ChatGPT to amplify what I'm doing. It's like ChatGPT, it's one of their competitors to OpenAI. It's smarter in many ways, but not every way. I use them both. So, and I'm happy you brought that up, because Claude versus OpenAI. And I'm happy you brought that up, because Claude versus OpenAI. The reason why I'm bringing them up in this context is I've been building tools, and I'm not a coder. I've been building functioning apps that help with my creative pipeline by talking to Claude. I describe what my idea is. Like, I need a tool that can generate images.
I'm going to get rid of that It's too much of a filler for me. I'm just going to get rid of it. I'll keep some in and some ums, but not most of them.
Describe what my idea is. Like, I need a tool that can generate images that do this, this, and this. And you loosely describe that. Claude writes the code, runs the code in the chat, and has a little publish button. So then I can actually ship it to somebody on my in a team. And if they can run in a web browser, they can run my app. I didn't have to publish on an app store. And I can't read a line of code. And I can't.
I'm just going to get rid of that line right there. Kind of stuttered a little bit. I'm just going to get rid of that first stutter.
Store. And I can't read a line of code. So I use it for making lots of tools. For example, like I was doing a budget for a whole project. I was doing for example.
Okay, we'll go to the for example part here.
App Store. And I can't read a line of code. So I use it for making lots of tools.
I use it for making lots of tools. Okay, so we'll keep that part.
App Store. I use it for making lots of tools. For example, like I was doing a budget for a whole project. This whole interface is like a functioning, clickable thing. I have no idea how I coded it, but I just needed this interface for a few minutes, and then I shipped this to a team to kind of help decide what our budget would be for a project. So the feature is called Claude Artifacts. It's a paid. So.
Cool. So we'll get rid of the so. It's kind of a filler. Let's see how that flows.
Okay. The feature is called Claude Artifacts. It's a paid feature, but it's 100% worth it. I don't work for them, I swear. Okay, let's talk about VFX and AI as it pertains to going more viral. These are real screenshots from my Instagram of some pieces where I use some of the techniques and workflows that we're talking about today. Let me see if I can block this. Where's the mic coming from? Oh, talking about today. Let me see if I can.
Okay, we had a little wind issue right here, so I might skip part of this wind issue. Let me see how appropriate it is to skip.
These are real screenshots from my Instagram of some pieces where I use some of the techniques and workflows that we're talking about today. If I can block this. Where's the mic coming from? Oh, I'll talk. Oh, I'll talk quieter. So what we have right here is just, you can get lots of viewership. Oh, no, okay, you can hear. Sorry. So what I'm saying is you can use these techniques to actually get real. What I'm saying is you
Okay, we'll just skip the wind issue. I don't think it's relevant to communicating here.
Where's the mic coming? Some pieces where I use some of the techniques and workflows that we're talking about today. Let me see if I can block this.
Yeah, there we go.
Talking about today. You can use these techniques to actually get real viewership and get seen. And when you do these frequently, it helps actually get noticed and have your story be heard and amplified. So let me show you a little bit about those examples. These are the tools I made for the last screenshots. This app is not out yet, but it should be coming out later this year. It's called Simulon. You can do Hollywood quality VFX with an iPhone. It is really impressive. After Effects is really great from Adobe's universe. Sora is what I've been using for a lot of my videos. Sora and VO2 are really big competitors, and so are Runway. These are my personal...
Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that.
These are my personal favorites, so that's why I put them here. There's lots of tools, though.
All right, big gap of space. Get rid of that.
Tools, though. This was using all of that workflow. So I can't sing, so I used Suno to make the music. But to get all the motion capture on my face, Runway has a feature called Act 1 that lets me perform in front of my phone, and I just mouth out my shapes and my words, and it drives the character performance. Again, this was made in maybe like 4 hours. The whole thing, like from having nothing on the screen to having animations. And a pro tip is on Sora, ask it to generate things on with a green screen background, so then you can take these into your editing software like CapCut and VFX and like actually edit them and do. Basically, I use it to make assets for my 3D work. A lot of people try to do the one button click and then you have your video. I like to make assets so that I can assemble the video and the ideas. This is another workflow that's pretty interesting. There's an app called Midjourney.
There's another right there. Let's get rid of the I really need to work on my ums. I use them too frequently when I'm sleepy.
This is another workflow that's pretty interesting. There's an app called Midjourney. You can generate images from text prompts. So this images
from text prompts. Go ahead and remove that clip there.
Generate images from text prompts. So this is from a little comic book series for my character. I put ChatGPT.
Another I know there is some AI tools that you can use to remove all ums and ahs, but I am going to keep some of them, so I'm still removing it manually here. Mostly because this isn't that long of a presentation, but if this was longer than 30 minutes, I'll use an AI tool that removes long pauses, ums, and ahs. But since this is only like 25 minutes, I want to remove them or add them manually.
I put ChatGPT in there because I use ChatGPT to enhance my prompting. So I don't know all the language for making images better all the time. So I would ask ChatGPT, hey, I have this character, he wears an orange jacket, he has dreads.
Get rid of the Let me see how we're doing on time. Check. Calendar. Maybe we gotta go straight. Yeah, we gotta leave maybe in like 20 minutes. Cool.
What's a scene? Describe a scene of this of action. I don't. As dreads. What's a scene? Describe a scene of this of action. I don't know what that is. ChatGPT writes a much better, deeper prompt.
I might just skip that part because I think I worded that in a confusing way.
Dreads. What's a scene? Describe a scene of this of action. Describe a.
Maybe I'll keep that part in where it says describe a scene of action, but I won't keep all of that part there.
Describe a scene of this of action. I don't know what that is. ChatGPT writes a much better, deeper prompt, and then Midjourney made these images. But then I'm like, oh, I need an animation now. So I use an app called Viggle, and what you're seeing what you saw there was, again, you set up a phone and you film yourself. You could use a robotic camera or something, and it does all the motion capture work without having to wear any suits or optical tracking. So you can now go from a storyboard to animation, again, with a phone. It's really useful. I use it to make It's really useful. I use it to make stickers for different social media channels. Another fun pro tip for Sora and Run. I used to make. I
All right, so I kind of blurred my words together there. I'm gonna leave the
make stickers for different social media channels. Another fun pro tip for Sora and Run.
Okay. Okay.
And Runway and Pika Labs and Halio is you can ask Sora to generate what's called a turnaround. At DreamWorks Animation, when we would work on characters, one of the first things we would do before we start animation was we'd get this thing called a character turnaround. Usually the character's arms go to their side, and we have the character basically, we have a camera orbit the character, and when you have that data, you can now build out lots of scenes. So I asked Sora to generate a character turnaround, and the only image I initially gave it was something that I got from Midjourney of a character standing in a T-pose. You could illustrate it if you wanted to, or you can generate it if you want to, and then you have like almost effectively a 3D character without having to build a 3D model, character maps, rigging, and you can make these really quickly. Like all of these that I'm showing are probably made in the last like month. So let's go a little bit further, the near future. This is a character, Spider-Man, and he's working with Iron something's tech, Iron Man's tech. Augmented reality overlays is kind of coming. So these are some things, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but think glasses. So I'm wearing smart glasses right now. These are some things, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but
I'm gonna remove that line and then skip to that part. There we go.
things, think glasses. So I'm think glass. These are some things, think glasses. So these are some
I'll skip. These are some things.
kind of coming. So think glasses. So I'm wearing smart glasses right now, and I actually filmed both of these videos with these glasses, an older pair, and then I go and add visual effects on top of that footage. So these didn't really happen. But what's cool is you can pitch ideas and concepts by having that first person point of view.
I'll get rid of that. I really love saying ums today. I'll work on it.
We can talk about those later, but these are fun for pitching ideas for companies and seeing your visions come to life.
Hello, Dopa Drew. Welcome.
And seeing your visions come to life.
We're just editing a video of the presentation, so I can upload that. But I think I'm only going to record for another 15 minutes, so we'll see how much we can get done. Otherwise, we'll have to postpone this and continue it later.
Point of view. We can talk about those later, but these are fun for pitching ideas for companies.
We'll skip to that part.
Pitching ideas and point of view. These are fun for pitching ideas for companies and seeing your visions come to life.
Cool, got a blank screen.
Here's a bunch of things. So the main point is in the past, you had to be kind of contained to a small studio.
There we go. So in the past,
You had to be
oh, let's keep the words in the past.
in the past. Point is in the past, you had to be kind of contained to a small studio.
Let's zoom in here, and can we make this a little bit larger? Let's see. Go to track height tall. Track height tall, please. And can I do audio height? Audio 60%. There we go.
Point is in the past, you had to be.
Cool.
Point is in the past, you had to be. Point is in the past. In the past, you had to be kind of contained to a small studio. Maybe you're in a basement at a really cool game.
Dopa Drew says, good luck with the edit. Off to grab some breakfast. Enjoy your breakfast. Thanks for stopping by.
A really cool game studio or an animation lab. Because a lot of these tools are in the cloud and are web-based, we're at this point where my new studio is wherever I go outside. So if I have my phone with me, my glasses, or my different AI peripheral devices, this is what a new animation studio looks like. You can just be anywhere, as long as you have reliable internet access. These are the specific technologies in each of those images that I would use.
I don't know how important that detail is, so we'll keep it, but I might remove it. Let me see.
Access. Technologies in each of those images that I would use for those workflow access. Technologies in each of those images that I would use for those workflows I described.
I don't think that's the most important point, so I'm going to get rid of that clip.
Reliable internet access. All right, so here's some sneak. right, so here's some sneak peeks of stuff that's kind of coming. We talked a little bit about them, but I'll just kind of highlight them one more time. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so Simulon should be coming out. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so Simulon.
Okay, we're gonna trim that over here.
Highlight them one more time. Yeah, so Simulon should be coming out this year. It is remarkable. There are competitors to Simulon that are coming out, and this.
Hello, Vinod. Welcome. We're just working on a video edit. I'm taking the footage from this week and yeah, just turning it into a nice little video edit. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So welcome.
Yeah, so Simulon.
It's so I can make a YouTube video out of it.
Should be coming out this year. It is remarkable. There are competitors to Simulon that are coming out, and this actually makes it so that you don't even need to have a rigorous technical VFX background like myself. You can just have really good creative ideas, and as long as you can film with your phone, you can get these quality assets out of it. These things that I'm wearing on my face are the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. I just checked, they are being shipped into Dubai now. I think of just last month, or this month. This month they're allowed to be shipped here. They have cameras in them. If I'm recording you, you'll see a white light that blinks. And that's the only time that it records, and it always notifies you. But the reason why I bring it up here in this panel is later this year, I think they're gonna announce, I don't know for sure, but I think they're gonna add a display inside of one of the lenses. So that starts to add that kind of near future world where we have overlays and graphics on the world. That becomes a lot more feasible this year. So think about that. This is another one that's currently in closed beta. I've been working with them. This is an app called Scenery. They're making a really nice operating system for making real-time augmented reality experiences. This is not VFX. This is running in an Apple Vision Pro in real time. Imagine when ChatGPT has a face, has a personality, has a body, but you're seeing it not as a robot, you're seeing it as like a character that's floating around you. That's coming out soon-ish, I hope. And then Claude Artifacts. Please look at this, it's so useful. The main one I use it for is for proposals. In the past, I would make these big PDF documents of what my proposal is for a client or a company, and they don't want to read it, and it's like super thick, and we're going back and forth making changes. But what I do with Claude now is I give Claude my PDF, and I say, can you turn this PDF of my proposal into an interactive proposal with fun buttons to click that allows my client to customize the price based off of parameters I want. And then we're talking 5 to 10 seconds, I'm getting interactive apps that I can ship to the client. I can't code at all, so I usually just have them just screenshot their final parameters, and I say, just send me the screenshot, and that's what the proposal will be. But it's taking interaction. So I guess I'm a creative technologist, but now I'm also a coder because of tools like this. All right, let's keep going on. We have a few more slides on here. This one uses that. All right, let's keep going on. We have a few more slides on here. This one uses that same tool, Runway. The product's called Act One. That's the footage I filmed with my iPhone, and this was not a 3D character. This was a 2D image that I made from Midjourney. Then I used Adobe After Effects to composite that face onto a music video. This is how I think you're going to see a lot more stuff happen in this year and then in the next 5 years. Cool. Oh yeah, those are the Meta Orion glasses.
Let's get rid of the here.
Cool. Oh yeah, those are the Meta Orion glasses. I don't know when they're going to launch those. They are real augmented reality, very lightweight. They'll feel a little bit heavier than this. Reminds me kind of like a Vision Pro experience. Okay, another fun pro tip. I call this critical thinking. Another fun pro tip. I call this.
Oh, why, hello.
Another fun pro tip. I call this critical thinking mode. A lot of people are like, use AI to just solve everything and do nothing. I hate that. So what I would encourage is you have the AI ask you the questions. You should use your human thought, your creativity. How does this work in practice? Well, I wrote my first book this year, and I had Claude interview me. It came up with the questions. I said, I don't know. It says, can you give me the questions that would help me write a good book about my life and advice that I would give? And then I would spend the day writing and answering all the questions that Claude gave me. And at the end, I'd take that giant text file, give it back to Claude, and I say, can you make this into a nice chapter 3, a nice chapter 4? And then I'll have it critique the chapter. And I made this book in a month and a half. It's published on Amazon, and there's no way I do not have a level of focus to do that kind of long form stuff. It's like 30,000 words, and I'm very proud of it, and it's very human. I would listen back to every chapter in another AI tool called 11 Labs Reader. Lets you copy and paste the text, and it turns any text into a nice audiobook that you can just listen to. So I would finish a chapter with Claude, copy that chapter's text, not read it, paste it into 11 Labs Reader app, and then go on a walk with my dogs while I listen to how the chapter sounds. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Oh, I lost focus around this part. So I'll take a note. I don't like that idea that you had around, like, when we were talking about this, maybe try this other example. And it's this very nice collaboration with an AI that allows you to get more out of the interaction. It's called Make a Seed If You Want It. 5 years ahead, which is around the 2030s, these are all a mixture of screenshots from fantasy films and science fiction films. In the next 5 years, they will not be fantasy and they will not be science fiction. I don't know.
We can get rid of the right there, so cut that part right there. Trim that scene here, and there we go.
I don't know, quick show of hands, have anyone watched Harry Potter movies? So you know those paintings where they kind of can interact with the passerbys? These paintings. That's kind of what these AIs are going to be like that you might see in glasses. Or maybe we walk up to a wall and there's a painting of a person and you have an interaction with them. That's not a fantasy anymore. That'll become a normal thing.
We got a question from Kalpesh. .47 writes, how are you managing your overall work? Any advice for multitasking different kinds of tasks or goals? Yeah, my main advice for multitasking is timers. I set lots of timers, usually on my watch with like specific directions. And within those timers, I kind of just live by the timer. So if a new task comes in, I'll just block out a little window of time on a Google Calendar, or I'll just say to my watch, can you set a timer for X amount of time? And in that time, I only focus on that one thing and I ignore everything else. That's been helpful for me to kind of like just focus in on one task at hand. The other one is, make an agent, either make an agent or hire an agent. So sometimes it's good to bring somebody on board who can ingest a lot of emails. If you start getting a lot of emails and a lot of contacts and stuff, and you can't manage it yourself, it might be wise to hire an agent who actually sees those and then vets the clients for you, helps set up meetings. I do that, and it's very helpful for kind of multitasking. And then you just have to weave it a lot of fun in your work, because I love this content creation stuff, but it also is work. But it would be very hard to do if I didn't enjoy it. So whatever the work that you're trying to focus in on, see how you can make it actually more fun for yourself while not wasting time. So for me, I love teaching and sharing and mentorship and kind of getting people inspired. So I love, live streaming like this, so I can teach people my processes, my workflows, but it's also making content that helps me advertise myself. So I chose live streaming as that form of that medium because it's so useful at me being able to work. Like I can work on an edit for a video, right? Like I need to make this video, but also making some content live, which is helpful for marketing. So it's really kind of finding those tasks that can be done simultaneously with one another. I do think I'm going to need a run, though. I thought I could finish this sooner. Let me just put a little placeholder to see where we are at in the edit. I'm just going to move this clip up there just so I can visually see. Oh, wow, we were almost done. Okay, let's try for a few more minutes and then see if we can get it all wrapped up here. So we're almost done.
A normal thing by 2030.
Trim.
And then
Kalpesh writes, okay, we'll try that. Thank you so much. Kalpesh.47 writes, thing is, I am doing a job as a 3D artist, but I'm also building an XR company, and I also want to do study in a different domain. So I'm currently messed up. Okay. In this case, what I would do in your situation is, I know this might be a weird suggestion, But I would say describe the circumstances of this situation with one of your AI assistants like ChatGPT or Claude, and then ask how would Claude help you organize yourself to make time for all of these things, and ask what advice Claude might specifically have, and be as descriptive verbally with what you're trying to do. I would discourage you typing this to a Claude or a ChatGPT and encourage you to ask. So I would say, I'll literally show you how I would do it. I would, let me just copy this. So this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. I'll actually give you the prompt I would give ChatGPT so that you have it. So I'm going to open up ChatGPT, and this is the verbatim what I would encourage you to ask it. So I would say, hey, so I'm doing this job as a 3D artist, but I'm also building an XR company. And I also want to do studies in different domains, so this has all got me currently messed up. I want to know how I can multitask and balance my work. Can you give me a strategy, or maybe can you give me a set of questions that by me answering will help give you the information that you need to help give me a plan that will help me do all of these things and make time for the right things. Thank you so much for your time. So that is the prompt I would give your AI assistant. Let me see if I can copy this and then paste it into here. There you go. So this is, oh, dang it, it won't let me post it. Okay, it won't let me post it. So maybe just screenshot my screen. Let me zoom in. I'll zoom in for you so you have a better close up, and then I'll move this over here. Yeah, so maybe ask it this. So feel free to screenshot. Wait, am I pointing the right way? Oh yeah, screenshot that, and then with that screenshot, you can take it to your tool and then rewrite it yourself. But it says, hey, so I'm doing this job as a 3D artist, but I'm also building an XR company, and I also want to do studies in different domains, so it's all got me messed up. I want to know how I can multitask and balance my work. Can you give me a strategy, or maybe can you give me a set of questions that by me answering will help you with the information that you need to help give me a plan that will help me do all the things and make time for the right things. Thank you so much for your time. And if you ask your AI that, I think it's going to resolve a lot of the issues for you. Right there. So yeah, give that a try. Yeah, and then we'll give you. I think it's going to give a great strategy, whatever it suggests here. If you give it enough context, I think it's going to give you a solid answer. So I'll go ahead and play this audio while I continue to work. So I'm going to go to the bottom here and click the play audio button.
Balancing.
Is it working? Oh, it takes a second.
Balancing multiple pursuits like 3D artistry, building an XR company, and studying across domains is no small feat. But with the right strategy, it's absolutely doable. Here's a framework to get us started.
And then with the other example,
I'll first
this is
share
from
some
a movie
questions to
called
help
Rock.
you clarify your priorities and challenges. Then I'll suggest a strategy based on your answers.
And then with the other example,
Questions
this
to
is from
clarify
a
your
movie
needs.
called Roger Rabbit.
1. Goals and priorities.
This is
What
from
are your
a
long-term
movie.
goals for each area? Your 3D artist job, the
But yeah, you
XR
get the
company.
idea. I'm gonna pause it, but yeah, that I would do exactly that, and then have a conversation and see if you can work out a custom plan. Yeah, hopefully that helps. For some reason, it's not letting me. I can't see the comments anymore. Let me see if I can see the Instagram live stream from a separate tab.
Your 3D artist job, the
But yeah, you
XR
get the
company.
idea. I'm gonna pause it, but yeah, I would do exactly that, and then have a conversation and see if you can work out a custom plan. Yeah, hopefully that helps. For some reason, it's not letting me. I can't see the comments. I don't know how to mute this. Let me see if I can see. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So hopefully that works. I'll try to copy the prompt one more time, and let's see if that lets me paste the prompt. But this would be the prompt I would ask an AI to help solve the issue that you described. Oh, it won't let me paste that much longer. Okay. Well, that is what I got.
Roger Rabbit. And imagine this was like a breakthrough that. This is from a movie called Roger Rabbit. And imagine
Kapesh writes, thank you so much. Oh, yay. Happy to help.
that'll become a normal thing by 20.
Yeah, the key is knowing what is the right set of questions to ask in AI. If you can start learning about what is the right questions to ask, it will resolve most of the issues out there.
That's not a fantasy anymore. That'll become a normal thing by 2030. This is from a movie called Roger Rabbit. And imagine this was like a breakthrough that character had. He had an emotional breakthrough by
I'm following you since long. We'll meet someday. Thank you so much, Kalpesh.47, for following for a long time. Yeah, I'm excited to hear how that goes. And yeah, if you don't mind sharing, whatever, I would love to hear from you what result you hear from an AI that you decide to go with on that solution. If you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to hear what did you decide to do after having a conversation with AI? If you could share that back with me, that would be helpful, because that's a question that I've heard other people ask before, and it might be helpful to know what you actually decide to go with. Because maybe don't go exactly with what the AI says, but use it as like a bouncing board, where you feed an idea and you just hear how it structures a response, and then you choose with your own critical thinking whether that is applicable to you, whether that's something you want to do. So I look forward to you sharing that with me. Literally just send me a DM saying, hey, I tried that prompt and it told me something around this, but I actually decided to go with that. That would be really helpful. Thank you, Kalpesh.
Emotional breakthrough by having a conversation with an AI.
Okay, I got to run though for timing. So thank you all so much for tuning in to Creativity with Don Allen III live. This was a special morning time edition. Recorded this stream. Oh, you recorded the stream. Perfect. Yeah. So then, yeah, if you have any questions, that'll be great. I didn't finish editing this, and I think there's enough shots with the robot kind of messing up and filming the crowd. I'm going to need to cover these with the actual footage. So that meant I probably won't be able to finish the edit right now. So I'll manually go through and put all my slides back into this presentation, and that will help. But yeah, this was a really fun experience being in Dubai. I learned a lot about, there's just so many different perspectives on the future, and that was so refreshing to hear. I was treated very well in Dubai. I definitely want to go back, and especially like a summit, and learn more. The networking opportunities were off the charts. This summit was called the 1 Billion Follower Summit. They will have another one next year around this time. I would like to go and speak again and see how much the industry has changed in a year. But anywho, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm gonna continue editing this maybe later today. I just have to go to a meeting right now, so I got to run. But that's all we have time for. So thank you so much for tuning in to Creativity with Don Allen III live. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Or DM my AI assistant. They also are sometimes turned on in my chat, so in the DMs. If you don't like those, you can always make a video of your question and then tag me in the video. Then I'll definitely see your question. Or just tune into the next live stream where you get the human hour, where it's human Don, humanly here, humaning stuff with humans. That's all. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a creative and productive day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.